We have had a young season. 20 members of our 26-man team are freshmen and sophomores. Caused us to change a few things along the way so that we could be good at this time of the year. And they did a great job all year. Did just about everything I could have hoped for.
Coach, going into the Olympic trials later this year and obviously going into the Big 12 Championship, you mentioned that you had to amend your training somewhat. How exactly did you amend your training and prepare for what's coming up later this year? Anything different?
That's a real good question. I wish you hadn't have asked that. No, we have a bunch of moderate beginners. And so I did something I don't usually do. I put them in position Tuesday and Thursday of every week of having to do fast stuff. And it was a learning process. Like when we swim a 50, we don't breathe. So I don't want them to. So we practice that every Tuesday and Thursday. Because when they get tired or scared, they resort or revert to the biggest habit. So I put them in position of going fast more times during the year than I would normally ask. And that made them more tired. What'd we lose? 3 or 4 dual meets to teams that we plan on beating at the end of the year. But going that much fast stuff makes you tired during the year. But it gives you an opportunity to work on race-like conditions. And they did a real good job at that.
Well, Coach, coming off the dominant performance of previous Big 12 championship competitions, how's the confidence level among the athletes right now? Y'all never take anything for granted, right?
Never. We don't ever take anything for granted. I picked my best 21 swimmers and 6 divers to go to this meet. It doesn't matter what anybody says, just never take a chance like that. But our goal is to go a lot faster than we've been all year. And if that's not good enough to win, we couldn't have done any better.
What would winning 45 straight conference championships mean to you?
I'm a now guy. All I worry about's what we're doing now. This year, all that stuff's in the history books, and I know what those guys put in it to win, what they put in it to win NCAA titles. But I just worry about now. Everybody says, well, you had your last home dual meet, last away dual meet. I just try to get them to swim fast, make improvements along the way.
For having such a young team, too, you mentioned that being a very young team, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomore, how important is it to have guys like Luke Hobson, Kobe Carosa, those guys that have been fourth years, even some juniors, to even the fifth year, like a Jake Foster coming back? How important is it to have some of those leaders to kind of help mold the next generation of swimmers you have coming in here?
to have those older guys back, because we had two guys that could have come or would have been back, and they went pro. And don't blame them. I mean, we encourage that. But to have those guys, to have Jake get a delay on his med school, and he got into Dell Medical, and he's just made the world championships and moving on to NCAAs, then the Olympics. Those guys have a lot of experience, and I know everybody thinks if there's an urgent need, you can get up for it and do anything. Well, I'm here to tell you you can't. So those guys are a calming influence. I tell them all you have to do is do what you can do. You don't have to put on Superman's cape and perform miracles. Just do what you can do. And those guys echo that. They help. They help a lot with that.
Coach, coming off that answer, do these more experienced players and yourself try to calm any nerves or any pressure they might feel from measuring up to past performances?
Well, nervousness is good. That's the mechanism that came through from the cave men back in those days when they had to escape all the dinosaurs and saber-toothed tigers, and that nervousness allowed them to do that. Tell them nervousness is good. Just don't let it be the only thing that you dwell on. And if they get too nervous, the best calming influence to get in the water.
Coach, I know you've talked about concentrating on the here and now, but you do have retirement in your future. It's been a successful career. Any thoughts of reflection at this time, or is it just business as usual?
I'll reflect if we go real fast at conference. That's all that matters to me now.
So, in terms of talking about how the older Longhorns on the roster have an impact on the younger members, how proud of your former Longhorns like Carson and David? What's the importance of upholding that Longhorn name even after you choose to go professional?
They do a real good job of that. Those guys like Dave Johnson took a year off to train for the Olympics. He graduated 3 years. So he came to school with a lot of hours. And, you know, Dave's going to come back next year and swim, he hopes, the next 2 years. And Carson loves to practice with us, says he loves the team. Those are the important things. I get pictures from weddings of my swimmers. One of my swimmers just got married. Like all but one of the groomsmen are swimmers from his class. And that says a lot for the program and for the kids in it. The relationships are the biggest and best things that occur.